I put my fish through the Epsom salt tub to the rinse to the salt water bath to a potassium permanganate bath into an aquarium with salt and copper sulfate for 24 hours. And then I did 2 good water changes and I left them for 24 hours to see if anything hatched out. So I did lose my red and white, and it sucks. That was my, if I had to pick a favorite fish, that would have been my favorite fish. You know, and you're gonna have these days in the hobby, and I've had 2 in my keeping of fish. I've had goldfish now since I was like 9 years old, so more than 30 years. I'm not going to say my age exactly, but in that time I've had 3 wipeouts of fish. One, I got some super resistant to antibiotics, ulcer disease. Knowing what I know now, I probably would have treated for internal parasites as well as antibiotics I was dumping in, because sometimes ulcers can form because of internal parasites. But I'm not sure what it was. But whatever it was, I bleached and my system and my filtration and everything, and waited like 6 months and ordered $800 worth of imports. I was going to start all new with fish I really wanted. And whatever was in there regrew and wiped out my entire batch a second time. And I ended up throwing out all of my filters and bleaching my tanks, and it was quite a while before I had fish again. That was maybe five years ago. And then I didn't have goldfish for almost 3 years after that. I took a big break. Prior to that, I had a 300-gallon Rubbermaid tub, and my significant other at the time, I trusted him to refill it, and he forgot the water running for 6 hours and overflowed, flooded the basement, and killed 30 4 to 5 year old fancies. I mean, huge fancies in this 300-gallon Rubbermaid tub. And I bawled for 2 days, you know, and I really contemplated quitting fish then. So you will just have days in this hobby, especially when you keep multiple fish. Things happen. So I've gone through slides. I did lose my red and white. I scraped him. I found 1 fluke and like 2 dying ick. And I've scraped 4 other fish in the 1 tank. And I did find 2 little tiny flukes. So I'm doing another formalin treatment. They're in formalin water right now. I bleached another tank. Once they're done in that formalin, I'm going to move them all to the new clean tank and I'm going to cycle Prozzy for a month on everybody. But I feel I'm making massive headway. This is another fish I've gone through everything on it. So I've gone through my red and white, which was the sickest, my rescue Ryukin, which was really rough looking, and they each had 1 little tiny fluke. That was all I found. I found none of that Oidinium. I found no real live ick. So I really feel I'm making headway, and everybody looks good. They don't look stressed, other than my red and white that I lost. So I'm really hopeful that I've figured out how to cycle through all my fish, hopefully clear out almost all of the parasites, and then I'm just going to keep cycling Prozzy and see if I can completely clear out the flukes. So nothing moving on this slide. So good news and bad news today. I gotta go see if I'm overflowing my fish room.